Hi students, and welcome again to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope all of you are having a fantastic start to your weekend. We're looking at an IELTS Task 2 writing in this class. This Task 2 writing is on the topic of personal information on the internet. And a very similar question to this came up on the IELTS exam in January. So you're definitely in the right place to prepare for your upcoming IELTS exam. Students, this lesson is powered by our website, aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. These are our websites. They have all of our materials, practice exams, videos, interactive courses. We use these classes regularly or these websites regularly for live classes, for interacting with students. So sign up for the premium package. Click the big red button, one-time payment, lifetime access, doesn't cost a lot. We're an IDP affiliate. We are a British Council partner, an IELTS test registration center. You're in great hands with us. I'm a British Council agent. The general IELTS website looks like this. Click that big red button there. And when you do that, you can fill out the form, enter the code 4R9YU for an additional 10% discount, and you're good to go. So don't think about it too long and hard, otherwise you'll get to your exam and you realize I should have done it. All right, we've got premium member live Zoom classes now too, so it's a great time to join on the websites because you get 2 extra live classes each week. Again, everybody, I will be sending the Zoom links today for Sunday and Wednesday's premium member Zoom class. Those of you who want to check out what some of these classes look like, you can do that here. I just put this link into the chat. You can check out some of the classes there. Okay. Again, that code is 4R9YU. The apps that link to the websites are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. You can download the apps, link them, get premium access through the app, or you can get premium access through Shopify, through YouTube. You can follow this link. And if you buy through Shopify, send me an email so I can activate your account. If you have questions about the IELTS, questions about our products, send me an email so I can activate your account. This is my email here, or this one. All right, students, there's of course lots of writing and speaking help available on the websites. We're going to get into writing task 2 right now. Tomorrow we'll do speaking part 2 here on YouTube, and then we will have speaking part 3 live class on the website. Okay, we have live classes on the website directly as well, and we'll be doing more and more of those also. Great video, 50,000 people watched it in the last 2 days. This one here, it's about speaking, understanding how the speaking scores are evaluated. Nav, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Carolina is our chat moderator, everybody. You will see her in blue in the chat. You can ask her questions. She's here to help you. Fuang, Anna, Elizabeth, nice to have you. Domenico in the class. There are members and there are lots of them. It's nice to have you all here with me. Subscribers, Gujar Saab, Sanaya, Ugulhan, miss you, Alfredo, Yin. Nice to have you in the class. Everybody, again, this is a subscribers chat class, so please subscribe. It's free, and it's going to help you to get ready for IELTS and to learn quality English. Ha, Thu, Nurbanu, hi. Okay, everybody, IELTS writing task 2. Let's jump in. So, first step, read the question carefully. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task, not 20, 40, okay? It's 2/3 of your writing section mark. It's 2/3 of the time for the writing section. Writing section is 1 hour in the IELTS exam. You spend 40 minutes on task 2. I recommend doing task 2 after task 1. Read the question. These days, more people put their personal information such as names, addresses, and telephone numbers online for everyday activities such as socializing on social networks or banking purposes. Do you think it is a positive or negative development? Okay. Again, everybody, just keep in mind a similar question, a very similar question appeared on IELTS exams this January. Okay, so when you're like, oh, really? Do they ask questions like that? Yes, they ask questions exactly like that just recently. Okay, so firstly, let's try to understand this question. Okay, and you need to write at least 250 words. To get band 7 to 9, you should write 300 to 350 words. Okay, there's no maximum, but there's definitely this minimum limit. The 200, I've talked to many IELTS examiners, and all of them have said that they don't really give band 7, 8, 9 to essays that are 250 words. They're just too short. They don't have enough detail. They don't have enough vocabulary sentences. So it's not impossible to get a higher band score with 250, but it's extremely difficult. It's not a good idea. 250 is quite short. It's basically a half a page. So you want to get to that 350. That's about at least, it's getting closer to 2/3 of a page of text. Okay, so I'm talking about, the size 12 typing font here. Okay. All right. So first step, paraphrase. Okay. So step 1. Paraphrase the question to understand it and think about it, not for the introduction. Although it could be useful, but maybe for the background. Okay. I see less and less now these strange essays that just paraphrase the question and then say this essay will discuss or I will discuss. Okay. So that's nice. It's nice to see that people are starting to understand that good essay writing is not just some strange tip that a person gives you on the internet, but there's actually English literature or writing. So step 1, just paraphrase it. Okay, I'm going to paraphrase it. Paraphrasing means to use your own words. Okay, so another way to say these days. What's another way to say these days? Simple way, everybody. Let's just kind of start off with just some simple concepts. These days. Yeah, there you go, Miss You. Miss You says nowadays. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. People. What's another way to say people? Okay. Alexander says currently or recently. Yep. I would say recently. Shiva, in this contemporary world is way too wordy. Okay, too wordy. Yeah, individuals. Good. Yeah, absolutely. We can even paraphrase more with many. Okay. Put their personal information. Put their personal information. What's another way to say put their personal information? Okay. Yeah. Share is a nice way. Domenico, I agree with you. Share their not personalities neither is okay. Your personal information is also referred to as your, yeah, Shiva says, how about confidential information? Yeah. I would say they're private details. Yeah. Okay, share their private details, such as names. So here we can, such as names, addresses, phone numbers. What would be another one? Birth dates, right? Okay, so how would we paraphrase online for everyday activities? Online. Another way to say online. Internet, right? Very good. Okay. Okay. For everyday activities. Okay, what's another way to say for everyday activities? Yeah, very good, Deborah. Deborah says daily usage. Daily use, even, right? Daily use. Such as socializing. Such as socializing. Okay. What's another way to say such as socializing? Everybody. Anahita says social interaction. Yeah, or you could even just say interactions. Anita. Domenico says networking. Carla says, yeah, interacting. Yeah. Yeah, interacting is good. Okay. On social networks or banking purposes. Okay. Sure. All right, now we can just take the paraphrasing. To do this kind of selection, you can hold down Control, and I believe you could actually do this in the real exam as well. Okay, so I'm just holding down the Control button on my keyboard, and I'm highlighting these parts here that we have, and I'm going to copy them out, and then we'll put this below. So hopefully this works. There we go. Now just line them up, and like magic, we might have to do a little bit of adjusting, but more or less, we're going to have a paraphrase here. All right, so nowadays, comma, use a comma after a leading expression like nowadays, especially when it's a time expression starting, so comma there, okay. Nowadays, individuals share their private details such as names, addresses, phone numbers, birthdays. Let's do and birthdays or birth dates on the internet for daily use, interacting on social media, and for banking. Ooh, look at that, it worked. I wasn't sure it was going to. No, I was pretty sure it would work. So it worked. There you go. There's your paraphrase. So now we paraphrase that simply by using synonyms. Notice how I didn't always just look at each word, but sometimes I looked at the phrase, like put their personal information as kind of like a phrase, right? So I looked at the phrase. And then don't forget the second part here, okay? Do you think it is a positive or negative development? So do you believe this is a benefit or disadvantage? Okay. All right. So let's decide that. Let's figure this out. Okay. Deborah, that's got to be local. It's very clear here. I've got a very strong signal going, so it's got to be your local internet. Yeah, look at what Carolina's saying. Adjust that setting to 720 or reload. Okay. So let's do this. Let's make a decision. Okay. So what's the topic here? Before we decide on too many ideas, let's identify the topic. The topic, everybody, it's very important that you do this. Okay. You should never write an essay before you identify the topic. So never write an essay before you clearly define the topic. Okay, so the topic is basically what you are writing about. What you are writing about. Okay, so what are you writing about here? What's the topic? All right. Yeah, Carolina, very nice. Carolina, our chat moderators, is really giving a helping hand here, everybody. So Nav, no. No. Nav, no. And I'm going to show you why. Okay. All right. So the topic here is online personal information. Very good. Okay, so it's personal data available to the world, right, is what we're talking about through the internet. Gaming with Devash says personal data on the internet. I know that was a typo there at the end. Gaming, that's fine. It's personal data on the internet. Yeah, Ugulhan says personal information online. Good. And then the controlling idea. Okay, the controlling idea is it good or bad? What's your answer? Is it good or bad? Think critically. I'll give you a hint. Think about what you do and why you do it. Okay, Miriam says it's both. Deary says good, bad. I have two daughters, everybody. One of them is almost 8. The other one is nearly 3. They're both adorable. I love them so much. And my older daughter's so smart. She goes, there's like a question that she would ask. She's like, Dad, good or bad information on the internet? And I say both. And she goes, no, but you have to choose one. No, but you have to choose one. No. She does this all the time. She goes, what do you like more, spaghetti or pizza? And I'm like, both. And she goes, no, but you have to choose one. No, but you have to choose one. So I have to choose one. Why does she say that? I mean, she's 8 years old, right? Why does she say, no, but you have to choose one? What do you think? Why does she say that? Okay. So why does she say, no, but you have to choose one? What do you think? Why did she say that? There's a very clever answer. There's a lot that we can learn from children. Children, in many ways, have a better understanding of the world. Max says, because she really wants your opinion, right? Both is not an acceptable answer. It leads to inaction, okay? So saying both leads to inaction or indecision, right? People don't like it. It's often not helpful. Right? Okay. Everybody gets that? So if you say both, right? Like, let's say I'm an alien and I come from another planet to live on Earth. And I ask you, I'm like, personal information. My name is Z394 from Mars? Should I put this on the internet? What will you tell me? What will you tell my little green antennae? That no, don't do it, or yes, you should. Okay. So we have to choose. At the end of the day, we have to choose. We're humans. We have to choose, right? So we need to make decisions, right? So saying both is often kind of like, well, okay. So no, partly agree. Carolina says, yes, do it. Tell the world you're from Mars and your ZX9YQ is your name and your birthday is 3,000 years ago. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I'm not saying, oh, we have to be one-sided. What do you do? Think about that. Okay, so what do you do? Do you share your information online? Right, because sometimes we get caught up in the pop culture or in the popular, like, oh, sharing information so bad. People are going to steal your ID and they're going to steal your money and they're going to steal your life. And we hear these terrible stories and it's like, yeah, you know, it's partly true. It happens and we feel terrible for people when it does happen, right? But it doesn't happen every day to everybody. That would be awful. Obviously, we probably wouldn't do it, right? So do you share your information? Like, do you ever put, you know, your content? And here, like the question, right, everybody? So for socializing or for banking purposes, like, do you, you know, give your name, your address to the bank? Hey, guess what? The bank sells that information too. You think they don't, but they do. They sell it. They use it. You probably, a lot of you realize they do. They're like, oh yeah, I know they do because I get advertising calls from their partners, right? So Tanya Gulati says, I'll not prefer to share. Tanya, we have, Tanya, I have to. It's because it's just there, right? So let me kind of, yeah, right? So so Tanya Galati says, I'll not prefer to share since it's your confidential information. Tanya, we have your name right here. Okay, you're sharing your name, Tanya Galati. So I can probably find you now. And you know, it's a point in case, right? So do you share your information online? Think critically, everybody. Yes, we do. So the real answer here is, yeah, we share this information all the time. We're sharing our birthday, our credit card numbers, our names online. So if we do it, Tanya's like, you got me. That's my name right there, right? Deborah says, never will I do that. Deborah, we have your name right there. Just by giving the world your name like that, it's Alexander says, it's progress. You can't slow it down. Okay, so why? Why do you do it? Then why do you share your info online? Okay. Ugulhan says, if you use a reliable platform, we have to connect with true personal information like a learning platform or a job application, right? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so Alexander says we do it to save time. Right? Okay. We do it to save time. Sure. Because time is your most valuable asset. Everybody would agree? We have no idea how much we have. Time is our greatest value. What we do with our time, the way we enjoy our time, the way we use it to teach others, our time is more valuable than money. It's more valuable than gold. It's more valuable than any other possession that we have, right? It is what we have. It is what we protect. So we will take a lot of steps to save time, to make time more valuable for us. So it's faster to do online banking than in-person banking. So I will share my information with the bank online. What's another reason? There are lots of reasons that we share our information online. What's another reason? Give me some more reasons, everybody. And again, I'm teaching you not just the English and not just the grammar and the vocabulary, but also the way to think for these essays and how to effectively answer them. So it saves us a lot of time. By sharing information, we can save a ton of time not having to deal with, phone calls or going in. Okay? Deborah says more opportunities. Okay? So, yeah. Okay, we get a lot of opportunities by sharing that information. We get access to more jobs, more money, more learning, right? Okay, so it's nearly impossible to do that without sharing some personal information. You can save money too, right? You can find products online for cheaper, but of course that means you have to give your credit card information, right? So think of examples, right? Why did you put your credit card online? Because you found it for cheaper and you figured, hey, if they steal my money, it's horrible. But if I get to save $50 from this online purchase, then I'm going to share, right? So buy a cheaper product via internet, share, must share, so I must share. Credit card. Name, address, right? Credit cards don't work with names and without names and addresses. Okay, so here again, if I'm thinking critically, right? And the important tip here, everybody, is don't just answer task 2 questions with the first thought that comes to mind. Instead, think critically and think about what you do. Okay, so don't get caught up in just popular thoughts or criticisms of society like, oh, sharing information online is the end of the world. They're going to steal you. They're going to abduct you and take you to the moon. And you'll have to live on the moon with other people who share their personal information on the internet. So don't get caught up in those first reactions, okay? Calm, intelligent thinking, assess the question, right? You can come up with a much better essay and a much better answer, okay? All right, everybody got that, right? So now we can come up with our thesis statement, okay? Okay, the thesis statement is the most important part of your essay, okay? This last sentence of the introductory paragraph tells the reader your position, points for argument, and format of the essay. Okay? So your thesis statement should not be like, this is a band 5 thesis statement for this question. Okay? In this essay, this essay will discuss, even better yet, this essay will discuss the advantages and disadvantages of sharing personal information online. Okay, so if you write this, if I'm the examiner and you write a sentence like this in the introduction, in my head, I'm going to be thinking, if this is perfect writing, It might get a band 7, but never a band 8 or 9 because it is not college or university level. Okay. All right, that's how that works. All right, so when you see somebody on the internet saying, oh, just write it this way. This essay will discuss the advantages and disadvantages of sharing personal information online. You're basically into a band 5 essay, okay? Because it's very difficult to write a perfect essay that's going to have perfect spelling, grammar, punctuation. Okay, that's almost impossible to do. You have to be an exceptionally good writer to write a perfect essay. So you're basically going towards a kind of a tumble, a band 5 essay with that. Okay, everybody got that? So you need a much, 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 much better thesis statement than that. Okay. Domenico says it's an essay that my supervisor would toss out the window immediately after reading the introduction. Indeed, Domenico, indeed. All right, so we need a much, much better thesis. Write a thesis statement for me. Okay, everybody? So write me a thesis statement for the introduction. So the introductory paragraph, while you're writing that, needs a hook, needs a background. And I know what some of you are thinking. You're like, but my teacher says you don't need a hook in the IELTS. Do you want a band 8 or a band 9? Write a hook. You don't want a band 8 or a band 9? Don't write a hook. Doesn't have to have one. Nobody says you have to have one. Okay, hook and a background and a thesis. But your English literature teacher, who is a professor of English, will say an essay usually has, for the introduction, a hook, a background, and a thesis. Okay, I didn't say it. Professor didn't say it. English literature, the science of writing essays, says that. All right, not me. All right. Yeah. Okay, so Anahita has this. Okay, Anahita says, I believe that sharing private details online is a positive trend because it leads to expansion of one's popularity and convenience. Yeah. Okay, Anahita, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Okay. Any other thesis statements? Okay, I'm going to write one, and then you'll see. We'll kind of all put our thesis statements down. Practice thesis statements, students. If you cannot write a good thesis statement, you cannot write a good essay, I want to say. So you really want to write a good thesis statement. Okay. All right. Okay. Domenico, I see that you're kind of in the hook already. All right, this would be my thesis, something like this. Although sharing personal data online can be risky, the advantages are many, including saving time and creating opportunity. There you go. That would be mine. Body paragraph 1. Body paragraph 2. Saving time, creating opportunity, right? And you know, sure, for all of those people out there who are like, but they could steal your identity. And it does happen. I mean, sadly, it does happen, and it happens too often, unfortunately. So I'm going to respect that opinion, and I'm going to include this piece here, that sharing personal data online can be risky, comma, because it's the dependent clause, right? The advantages are many, including saving time and creating opportunity. So I'm going to focus on one side. Why? Because I want the essay to have value for the reader, in this case, the examiner. When your reader feels like there's value for your essay, then it's going to be a better essay, okay? Everybody following me? Everybody with me on this? Yeah? Okay. So, miss you. has this for us. Miss you, I hope this is your thesis. I'm not quite sure yet looking at it, but let's check it out. Okay, Miss you says, being exposed to online scams or stalkers have parallel form, Miss you. Oh, don't do that. Okay, never do that, students, by sharing your private information. Take that out, all right? Don't switch to second person voice. That's a big no-no, all right? Students, it's just a quick tip for academic writing. They will teach you that in grade 10, middle school, okay? Do not use the second person voice without intention. So task 2, just keep this in mind. Task 2 writing should be first person or third person voice, not second person. Okay, so be very, very careful with that. Okay. You can't directly speak to your reader in most essays. It's very awkward, okay? So being exposed to online scams or stalkers by sharing private data online can be negative. However, I believe that saving time and money are worth the risk, okay? So that would be it. Miss you, good. Now it's a good thesis, okay? Just be careful with those technical details, right? They matter. Okay, so miss you, now it's good. All right, now it's good. All right. Okay, Ike B says this. For about 3 decades now, e-banking has become essential in one's life, and I want to highlight the pros and cons of sharing your information on the internet. Okay, so again, all right, definitely not. The pros and cons, no. I don't want you to highlight the pros and cons. Ike B, in the real world, if you do that, if you write an essay like that, I won't read it, and many people won't read it. Why? Because they're not really interested. They want to know your opinion. So even if you do pros and cons, I would say something like highlight the pros and cons of sharing information on the internet and the reasons this is ultimately a positive trend or a positive practice. Okay? So you have to kind of take a position, everybody. It's a persuasive essay, more or less, right? So let's look at the question again. The question says, do you think it is a positive or negative? It's not saying, tell me about both. It's kind of insinuating, it's suggesting, make a decision. Do you think it's good or bad? Okay. Do you think it is a positive or negative? You have to look at that part of the question, and you have to think, this person is trying to ask me, it's like my daughter, right? But Dad, you have to decide. Spaghetti or pizza? All right, I'll go with pizza. If I have to, right? You know how I make that decision? I just basically think, if I had to eat one or the other, if I had to eat pizza all my life, or if I had to eat spaghetti all my life, which would I choose? I would choose pizza. There are more flavors of pizza. It's easier to take with me, right? It's portable. So I start thinking, why? Why would I choose pizza over spaghetti? I love both. I love spaghetti. I love pizza. But if I had to choose, I would choose pizza because it's a bit more convenient. I can take it for lunch. I can eat it on the go. It's trickier to, take spaghetti and meatballs with me. And there are more flavors. I mean, spaghetti ultimately is spaghetti, but with pizza, you've got like a million different flavors, right? So I have to choose. right? Everybody got it? Okay. And that doesn't mean I can't mention that I like both, but if I have to choose, I would choose one, right? Same thing with this question. Yeah, it's dangerous to share information online everywhere, but ultimately I have to do it. And they do give me parameters in the question. It does say, you know, for banking purposes, right? So really pay attention to the question. Okay, so now I have the thesis, all right? And I think we're starting to realize, like, okay, that thesis makes sense. So now we need the rest of this introduction. Remember what I said, a good introduction, not according to me, but according to standard English writing, okay? If somebody tells you different information, just ask them, what is the rule in standard English essay writing? Okay, don't be afraid to ask that question from your teacher or from what you see on the internet. Okay, if you're not sure, just ask. What is the standard in English literature for writing a persuasive essay with an introduction, some body paragraphs, and a conclusion? And the internet and teachers that know the answer and the books that you get in high school, in university, in college will say, write a hook, write a background, write a thesis. Then for the body paragraph, write a topic sentence, explanation, example, maybe connect or conclude the body paragraph, and then start your next body paragraph the same way. Okay, so it's a recipe, A, B, C, D, and so on. Okay, so here we go, everybody. Let's do a hook. The hook should include the topic, personal information. Okay. Let's do that. So introduction. Okay, introductory paragraph. All right. Oh, I already have it here. Introductory paragraph. Let's start with the hook. So the hook has to have personal, or should have personal information in there. Should be fairly simple. Okay. All right. And should make sense. People are generally apprehensive to share their private information. Okay? So people are generally apprehensive to share their private information. That's my hook. I think it will get you reading. It will make you interested. What does apprehensive mean? Some of you are thinking. Apprehensive means worried and scared and shy. It's a fancy way of saying worried, concerned, shy, not wanting to do. Okay, some nice high level vocabulary there for you. Okay, so people are generally apprehensive to share their private information, right? It's true, most of us are. So most of us don't run around on the street going, hey everybody, guess my credit card number? It starts with the number 8. Next number is... Who's that guy? Right. Guess my birthday, everyone. Guess my birthday. Right. So most of us are a little bit, like, oh, I don't know if we're ready to share that information yet, right? Now, I saw a couple of people in there saying, what is the background? Haitali says, what's the background? Okay, background, everybody. Background is the definition and the importance. Background. Okay, definitions and importance of the question and topic. Okay, so tell your reader, what are we talking about? How do you understand that? What do we... Okay, nevertheless, millions of people each day provide their personal data, such as birth dates and credit card numbers for online services like shopping, banking, and socializing. Okay? And I'm basically just using that paraphrasing. So this is where that paraphrasing that I did at the beginning of the class there comes in really, really, really handy. Again, for those of you, so everybody please do this. Everybody write your hook, write your background. I'm looking at the chat. It's there. Okay, so I'm looking at your writing and I'm going to give you feedback. For those of you who are new, make sure to check out our course, our full IELTS course, at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. On the websites, everybody, you will find the full description. Okay, so join with the red button and then go to your My Student account. There you will have computer-based practice exams, lots more. It's a one-time payment. It's not subscription. Okay, so you can use it forever and it doesn't cost a lot. We want to help a lot of people. So go to your full online course, go through the writing section. Here's task 2. Okay, so go through the writing section and check out all of the details of the writing section. It will go through step by step. What is a persuasive essay? What is task 2? How do you plan your essay? Okay. And then how do you write your essay? So lots more. Okay. Understand your audience, etc. Right? So check out the course. All right. A lot of what I'm saying is there. All right. Okay. So back to target here. Let's see what you've got going. Karem. Ghazi, thanks for that super chat donation. Super cool. Thank you. Love it. I think you're like the only one that ever does that. See, nobody wants to super chat donate. No, I don't tell people about it, but thank you, Ghazi. I appreciate that. Okay. Ghazi's like, throw this guy a bone. He's always here, right? Ghazi? Okay. So this is Karem's hook. Karem says, in today's world, more and more people are freely sharing their personal information online as a regular part of their daily routines. Yeah, Karem, I like it. It's a little bit wordy. It's a little bit long, but I think it's a good hook. I think you're on path for a nice high band essay. It's accurate. Just make sure there are no mistakes, but this is good, Karem. Yeah. Okay, I think it's a great way to start. Fuang says, more and more individuals have published their private information globally these days. Yeah, Fuang, the only correction here is I would be careful to not just say globally, but globally online. Globally, on the internet globally these days. So I would mention the internet, okay? Because publishing it globally doesn't, I mean, yes, we think the internet, but it doesn't actually directly say that, right? So Alexander says, super chat doesn't work in Russia. Such is life, Alexander, but I appreciate it. Okay. Yin, rethink it. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Kabali has a kind of a question here. Kabali has this. Kabali says, despite agreeing companies' terms and conditions, individuals have to share their private details. I don't know what you mean, Kabali, by despite agreeing companies' terms of conditions. I think what you're trying to say is to accept companies' terms of conditions, individuals have to share their private details online. Even when it's corrected like this, Kabali, it's kind of, it's okay. It's a little bit opinionated. It's a little bit, I think it's more related to one of the body paragraphs, like saving time. To save time, people do online banking. In order to do online banking, people have to accept terms and conditions and share their personal information. So I would probably put that in the body paragraph like that, not for a hook. Okay? All right? Makes sense? Right? So here we have the hook. People are generally apprehensive to share their private information. If you don't know the word apprehensive, you can use the word scared. That'll catch people's attention. So if you use the word scared. Okay. Nevertheless, so this is the background. Now, of course, in the exam, don't write background. Just write the background, but don't write the word background. Okay. So nevertheless, millions of people each day provide their personal data such as birth dates and credit card numbers for online services like shopping, banking, and socializing. Okay, sure. Now, let's take that nice high band thesis statement and then we're ready to go. Okay. Thesis. There it is. Okay, students, so this is what a high band introductory paragraph looks like, okay? People are generally apprehensive to share their private information. Nevertheless, millions of people each day provide their personal data, such as birth dates and credit card numbers, for online services like shopping, banking, and socializing. Although sharing personal details, I use data, so I'm going to use details here, details online can be risky, the advantages are many, including saving time and creating opportunity. Okay? Now I have a position. The reader is interested to read the rest of the essay, and this is the kind of language and thinking that is needed on the IELTS for a Band 8 or a Band 9 mark. Everybody with me so far? Are we good? Are you guys all following me? So in these classes, I'm really pushing you to not just learn English, not just use English, but also to think in critical and clever ways with English. And that's what they want. Karem says, simple and clear. Yeah, absolutely, Karem, and that's what you want. Okay. Khan says, I would argue that this phenomenon not only enhances opportunities and efficiency in personal life, but also faces potential issues such as cyber risk threats and online scamming. Okay, where are you going with that though, Khan? I would ask you, are you telling me to do it or not to do it? I'm stuck in limbo, right? It's exactly what I'm saying here, Khan, is take one side, and I hope that your essay will kind of push me to make a decision somehow. Okay? All right, Deborah, I don't know if my wife would appreciate you telling me that I can meet my spouse by sharing my personal information, right? That's why we avoid the your. So again, students, do not use the second person voice. You, your, okay? If you're writing that, Deborah, and your reader's married, they're going to be like, excuse me? Right? So know you and your in your essay, okay? I know that's not what you meant, Deborah, but it's awkward for your reader when they're married, okay? All right. And that leads, using you and your in communication can be very dangerous because it can lead to really bad misunderstandings, okay? So just be very, very careful in your communication with you and your, okay? All right. They will tell you in university and college, they will tell you, do not use you and your by accident. It has to be very clear and very purposeful, okay? All right, now we go to the body paragraph 1. Body 1. Body 1 should have topic sentence plus an explanation plus an example. Okay, now I'm writing in third person voice because I don't introduce the I, excuse me, or the me or the my in the introduction. So my essay is obviously a third person here, but you could write it first person. So you could say, I believe, right? I believe the advantages are many. I could do it here. Okay, I believe the advantages are many, but I'm just going to write third person this time. It's always okay to write third person. Okay. Dira says, can we use our or people's? People's is third person. Our is a confusing term, or us. Be very careful with our, us, and we. Okay. All right. Yeah, okay. So Ghazi says, when people use their personal info online, they can get services faster and it is more comfortable. Yeah, Ghazi, I'm going to take it. So Ghazi says, he says, why not use this for a topic sentence? And Ghazi, you're absolutely right. Why not? Okay, Ghazi's topic sentence here is perfect. It is exactly what you want to do. Because what is Ghazi doing? Ghazi's saying, well, you know, all we really have to do here, everyone, is just take this first point, saving time. It's my first thesis point. And we just define it. We give the reader a little bit more of what that means, right? So he says, let's tell them this. Let's say when people use their personal info online, they can get their services faster and it is more comfortable. 100%, I agree. Okay. Okay, and we can explain this. Okay, let me just really make that. So I'm, you know, when you've got a great sentence, I will literally put that into the essay. So that's what a topic sentence is. A topic sentence, you just take the point 1 of the thesis. And by the way, students, this is why it's way more efficient to have a clear thesis point, is because it lets you write faster. It lets you take that point and then right away lead into that topic sentence. Okay, and it's for body 1 because it's my first. Somebody's asking, is that body 2? No, it's for body 1. For body 2, I'm going to talk about creating opportunity. Okay, so for body 1, I'm going to talk about saving time. And saving time, Ghazi's right. It's basically because services are faster and they're more comfortable. So I'm saving time, right? Okay. So now I do the explanation. Now in the explanation, so some of you are like, but why not? I really want to talk about the bad side, people stealing information. You can talk about that sometimes in the topic sentence, sometimes in the explanation. And all you have to do is do a contrasting sentence, right? So even though people often hear of credit card fraud online, most individuals can agree that doing banking online is much faster than driving to a branch. A local bank is called a bank branch. Then driving to a branch and standing in a queue to get service. Okay. So that is my explanation. Even though people often hear of credit card fraud online, so I give notice. Okay, I give recognition of the dangers or the negative of sharing information online, right? Personal information. But ultimately, I'm basically telling the people that, yeah, okay, you know, all of us are kind of concerned, but we're not going to stop banking online and keep driving to the bank and standing in a long line and waiting for possibly an hour when you can do the same in 5 minutes from the comfort of home, right? So clearly, okay, so here I'm going to do an example, okay? Every day, millions of people accept the risks to gain the benefit of sending money or paying bills from the comfort of their homes in 5 minutes rather than spending an hour to do the same in a brick and mortar financial institution. Okay. Now, again, just a reminder for a lot of you who are watching this, the IELTS is not an English as a second language test. Okay, this is very important, everybody. It's not an ESL exam, it's a proficiency exam. Native speakers also have to sit the test. And if somebody is doing their master's or their PhD, then they have to show high level writing, band 8 or band 9. Band 8 or band 9 level writing is basically college university level writing, everybody. Keep that in mind, okay? If some of you are thinking like, really? I have to learn to write this well for the IELTS exam? Yes, you do, okay? So think about IELTS writing like this. Band 7 is B plus. Now, if you don't know this system, B plus equals about 85% or more. Grade 12 level writing in an English school. And that's quite high. Okay, to get a B plus on a high school grade 12 essay in Canada, it's pretty good writing. Okay, we're talking like, you know, go online. If you're not sure what that level is, go online, check online what a grade 12 B plus or A level essay looks like. Okay, and you'll be surprised. You'll be like, really? They write essays that well? Essay writing is a big part of the education system in a lot of Western countries like the US, UK, Canada. And by the time students get to grade 12, they write some pretty impressive essays. Some of those grade 12 students, I will honestly tell you right now, can write better essays than I can. And no joke. Okay? So, and if you don't believe me, go check it out. Go online, type it in. English essay, grade 12 level, B to A, right? And you'll be like, whoa, really? Okay, and that's a band 7, all right? So a band 8 to band 9 is university level 85% or higher. And that's why I'm teaching you like this, okay? So that's why I'm teaching you to write like this. It will not only help you for IELTS, it will help you for your school as well. Professors don't want the task of teaching you essay writing in their classes. They expect you to know that, okay? So keep that in mind. All right. And you can really improve your essay writing quite quickly as long as you have correct instructions. Please don't spend too much time on videos where they're like, okay, for your first sentence, just paraphrase. For your second sentence, just say, in this essay, I will discuss the negatives and positives. As Domenico already said earlier in the chat, because he's doing a master's in English in Los Angeles right now. And Domenico says, if my professor sees an essay like that, they won't even mark it. They'll literally just take it and throw it out. They might send you an email saying you have to redo this. They might not even. You might just receive a 0% and then you go, what happened? And then the professor will say, oh, I thought that was a joke, so I just threw it out. Right? Develop says, oh, I get it. All right. Okay, so back to the target here, everybody. I know I kind of digressed there, but back to the target now. All right. So let's stay with this. BYT says, nowadays, number of individuals all around the world are concerned about sharing their personal information on different online forums. That could be your hook, BYT, I think. Okay. Miss You says, people do not need to wait in line to do transaction at the bank when they use online banking and share their personal information. That's good for the explanation of body paragraph 1, Miss You. Okay. Dieter says, sharing personal data also helps people to get faster delivery services. Yes, and Dieter, don't use may also, use also. Use affirmative language, okay? It's called affirmative language where you're certain, you're sure, okay? All right. Danielle says, Canadians are so strict in academic performance. It's not just Canadians, Danielle. Yes, Canada does have a fairly strict education system, but it's not just Canadians. Okay, Anahita, good. Okay. So Anahita has this topic sentence for body paragraph 2. Anahita says, why not write this? Although sharing, let me just remove this, Anahita, and I'll give you, or remove the formatting, and then I'll give you some feedback there, Anahita. I think it's a good start. Okay. So Anahita says, although sharing personal details on the internet can lead to technology dependency, it does equip people with far more facilities which lead to the thrive, which lead to better life. I wouldn't use thrive there. It's awkward. The grammar's off, Anahita. And I don't think you need the comma here even. So although sharing personal information, and I would, start this with a little bit of a connection here. On another note, you can do that. You could also say furthermore. So on another note, although sharing personal details on the internet can lead to technology dependency, technological is the better adjective there, Anahita. Technological dependency, it does equip people with far more facilities which lead to better life. Okay? All right. So the internet opens up, this is my explanation. We're going on to the explanation here, everybody. Okay? The internet opens up a wealth of opportunities for education, travel, work, and entertainment that require people to share their personal demographics. There's a nice complicated paraphrasing there. Demographics means your age, your height, your address, Okay, so their personal demographics. Certainly, and then the example, certainly millions of individuals provide their locations, names, and payment details to access services like LinkedIn for jobs or Netflix for watching the latest blockbuster. Okay, that's my example. Now, notice how the writing kind of comes easy once you know what you're doing. There's a million ways that I could write all this information, but it comes relatively easy because I know exactly what needs to follow what in this recipe, right? And it makes a lot of sense. Okay? And a lot of you might be surprised to know that I don't practice these responses before our classes, so I'm writing this with you just the same. I know the question, and I look at the question, and then I post it, but I don't sleep on it. I don't think about it. I just do it here with you in the class. But I know the structure. I know what should be following what, so it makes sense. And when you have the right idea, the right topic, the right critical thinking, it's the same. It will flow. It will just be like, oh, okay, A, B, C, D. Right? So Aryan, in your test tomorrow, try to really follow this. Mohammed, a blockbuster is a popular movie. Blockbuster. A very popular film or event. Okay? It kind of just means popular or very popular. Okay? We usually use it for movies. All right. Okay, so that's my second body paragraph, and then now comes my conclusion. The conclusion has the points restated. It has the argument strengthened. And it has a take-home message. Take-home message. All right. So those are generally the three parts. Okay. So just kind of remember this, everybody. Introduction, 3 parts. Hook, background, thesis. Body paragraph, more or less 3 parts. Topic, explanation, example. Conclusion, 3 parts. Points restated, argument strengthened, take-home message. Okay. Again, when you are in your online course, you will see this in the writing section, and it will actually explain the flow. Let me just see. Right here. Actually, right here. You see the whole essay. So it kind of describes the whole flow of the course here, right? So it has hook, background, thesis, topic, sentence, clear explanation, specific example, compress, argument, implication for the conclusion. Okay? For those of you who want to learn quickly and efficiently, definitely make sure to visit us at aehelp.com and click the big red button to join the premium version of the course. Okay? All right. Okay, so let's write that conclusion, everyone. Points restated. Save time and opportunities. Okay, so in conclusion, let's start with here's an interesting kind of FYI, and I don't know, Domenico, if you've tried this or talked to your professor about this one, but you might have heard this mentioned because a lot of professors mention this. Some of them at the very start of the class, they'll say, do not write your essays or do not write in conclusion in your essays. I don't want to ever read that again in my life. So in conclusion is good for IELTS. They like to see it. It's kind of like a high school standard. But just a quick tip, in university, professors, readers usually don't like to see in summary or in conclusion. And we know that. It's kind of any words that waste time are not liked at the highest levels of writing. So anyway, but for IELTS, it's okay. All right. So in IELTS, you can say in conclusion. If you do that in university, you probably will get a line through it, and then the professor will go, don't do that. IELTS is good, though. In conclusion, by sharing private information online, thousands of hours can be saved in a lifetime, and many doors can be opened that would otherwise be unavailable. Now, this is, of course, an advanced way to do this. I'm just showing you how you can express it. Read, repeat, practice these sentences, learn these, students. So in conclusion, by sharing private information online, thousands of hours can be saved in a lifetime, and many doors can be opened that would otherwise be unavailable. Therefore, even if it may be risky to provide names and other demographics in fear of identity theft or misuse, the overall benefit is much greater. And then a take-home message, everybody. A take-home message. Okay? Ultimately, every person must be cautious, but must also thrive in our current technological age. Okay, that's going to be my take-home message. So that's my message, right? Obviously, be careful, right? Don't just put your credit card anywhere and everywhere. Don't share your name everywhere. Be cautious, right? Pay attention, but you have to use technology. If you don't use technology, it's a real debilitating attitude, right? I don't know if Anna's still here, but it is debilitating to not use technology. That's coming from our previous lesson. Those of you who were in the last class will know it is debilitating to not use technology or share information online, right? Debilitating. Okay, that was the word from last class, and this is a good way that we can use it. You can use words from reading passages, see? Okay. All right, Ghazi says, I think people can get excellent and faster services when they use their personal info online despite scams, and for this reason they should use reliable apps and online services. Okay, Ghazi, a little bit of correction there with the grammar, but overall it's good. Deborah, in conclusion, sharing personal information online offers chances such as work, fame, and also reduces the stress to make travel arrangements. However, one can be scammed and bullied. I would not put that part in, Deborah. It makes me confused. So should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? What should I do? Don't confuse me, especially not in the conclusion. Okay? Take a position. Develop says, in conclusion, providing private data is extremely common global activity nowadays, and also many big companies are working on it to improve this safety system. We didn't talk about that, Develop. You can't introduce new concepts. We didn't talk about cybersecurity. Don't suddenly go, oh, and by the way, there's cybersecurity. Where did that come from? What do I do now? Right? So now I'm even more confused. So do not introduce new concepts. It's a common mistake. It's a bad mistake. Okay? Don't introduce new concepts. In the conclusion, it leads to a coherence flaw, and it's confusing. Okay. All right. Any questions about writing task 2, everybody? While you're thinking about your questions, let's just read the task 2 and the response. Think about questions for task 2. We've got a few minutes today, and I will definitely answer some of your task 2 questions. While you're thinking about your writing questions for the IELTS, here is the question. These days, more and more people put their personal information, such as names, addresses, telephone numbers, online for everyday activities, such as socializing or banking purposes. Do you think it is a positive or negative development? It's not asking you to discuss both, okay? So pay attention. Very similar question appeared on the IELTS exam this month. Here's your Band 9 essay. People are generally apprehensive to share their private information online. Nevertheless, millions of people each day provide their personal data such as birth dates and credit card numbers for internet services like shopping, banking, and socializing. Although sharing personal details online can be risky, the advantages are many, including saving time and creating opportunity. When people use their personal info online, they can get their services faster and it is more comfortable. Even though people often hear of credit card fraud online, most individuals can agree that doing banking or e-banking, instead of repeating online, right? Different ways, that doing e-banking is much faster than driving to a branch and standing in a queue to get service. Every day, millions of people accept the risk to gain the benefit of sending money or paying bills from the comfort of their homes in 5 minutes rather than spending an hour to do the same in a brick-and-mortar financial institution. On another note, although sharing personal details on the internet can lead to technological dependency, it does equip people with far more facilities which lead to better life. The internet opens a wealth of opportunities for education, travel, work, and entertainment that require people to share their personal demographics. Certainly, millions of individuals provide their locations, names, and payment details to access services like LinkedIn for jobs or Netflix for watching the latest blockbuster. In conclusion, by sharing private information online, thousands of hours can be saved in a lifetime and many doors can be opened that would otherwise be unavailable. Therefore, even if it may be risky to provide names and other details in fear of identity theft or misuse, the overall benefit is much greater. Ultimately, every person must be cautious, but must also thrive in our current technological age. Danielle, spelling mistakes are bad, especially if they change the meaning of the words, okay? So here's Danielle's question. Okay, so that was your Band 9 essay. It's about 350 words. I will answer some questions here too. Danielle is asking, are spelling mistakes dangerous? Answer, yes, especially if they change meaning and make coherence difficult. Okay, so even if you don't catch all of your spelling mistakes, definitely look for ones that change the meaning of that, okay? Dieter, 250 plus words, yes. As I said at the start of the class, band 7 to 9 essays are usually 300 to 350 words, okay? Saradari is saying, what should we do if we are not familiar with the topic in task 2? The answer, that should not happen. Topics are chosen so all people over the age of 16 should be able to answer. If you feel that you cannot, read the question again and really focus on the topic, on the correct topic and controlling idea. Okay. Alexander, will, yes. So, Alexander's asking, will the 250 words answer? Yes. The computer-based test has a word count, so you can see it as you type. For the paper-based, they count your words. They count 3 lines, divide by 3, get the average, and then count the number of lines. Does that make sense? So they'll count 3 lines and they'll say, okay, in the 3 lines there are 30 words. All right. So the average is 10. The person wrote 30 lines, so it's about 300. So they'll get a pretty close approximate. Okay. Deborah, is it saying the question is asking positive or negative? Can you discuss both sides? Yes, but it will get a lower score. Yes, but it will score lower because it has less value than an essay that takes a position. Okay? Pay attention to or, positive or negative, right? Some essays, some questions state, discuss both and give your opinion. That's different. Okay, students, to get more ideas on Deborah's question, when you go to our website and you go to your My Student account, this is free. Okay, there are lots and lots of blogs up there at the top. You'll see it. Click, and this is free. Click on the blog. Okay, in the search, you can write in task 2 questions. Hit search. Okay. And then there'll be task 2, writing questions and answers. Okay, that one will explain it. And then there's one that's called question types, I believe. There are lots of sample essays. Those are all free. And there'll be one that's called question types. There you go. It's this one here. I'll even put that one in the chat. And then you can see a really nice essay on the different question types. Okay. And this tells you exactly what you should do. And then you can see there's lots of discussions by people on, you know, what's going on with these. So that's the forum or the blog there. Okay. All right, everybody, that's it for today's class. You guys did a fantastic job. I know it was a lot of English coming at you and a lot of ideas, and some of you were probably like, whoa, that one kind of just blew my mind, because I thought I was just needing to write like this kind of template essay, like in this essay I will discuss the negatives and positives and writing of essays, sharing info online. But then you're like, oh, that's not how it works. What? Who is this guy? So yeah, I'm a guy that did, you know, university in Canada, psychology. I graduated with distinction, so I did a pretty good job, and I wrote probably like 1,000 essays in university, so I've got a pretty good idea. They're still in a box, so I have a couple big boxes full of essays. It used to be all pencil and paper. No, pen and paper back in my day. No, a lot of it was computer already. All right, everybody. That's it for today. Thank you so much for your participation. Gazi, again, thank you for that super chat donation. That's super cool. Everybody, aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Premium members, so people who are premium users of our website at aehelp.com or gieltshelp.com, I'm sending you the Zoom links for the live class, the live Zoom class on Sunday and Wednesday, 28th and 31st. I'll send those in a couple of hours, so make sure you get that. If you don't have it and you are a premium user on the website, send me an email. We'll check your status, and then we'll send you the links, okay? Carolina, thanks for moderating. I'll see you all tomorrow for speaking. I'm Adrian, signing out from Victoria, Canada. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.